Hi, welcome to Percussion Lounge, Episode 5. While I was in school, learning about ornaments was a bit confusing. I would hear a flute player perform grace notes very open and equal in volume to the main note. Or I would hear musicians perform ornaments in Mozart like rhythms. Then, in my lessons, I was told to execute a flam by playing the grace note close to and softer than the main note. Drags, the two little grace notes next to the main note, were sometimes called ruffs, most likely an imitative term. Needless to say, all of these things were not clear to me. So I'd like to start by taking a step back to try to understand ornaments. Let's say you buy a white t-shirt. You can wear it, it will add a layer of comfort, and it meets the requirements of most dress codes. It's a t-shirt and it works. Some people buy t-shirts with really cool designs and interesting colors. These t-shirts can be artistic or they can deliver a certain message. You don't need the designs and colors to keep you warm or maintain that dress code, but it certainly looks better. Musical ornaments are similar. They are decorative notes added to a main note. They are not absolutely necessary, but they certainly make the music sound better. The most important thing to remember is that ornaments are not as significant as the main notes they decorate. The time and rhythm of the main notes are the most important aspects of any musical passage. That doesn't mean they're not important. On the contrary, the better they sound, the more interesting the music becomes. There are many types of ornaments, such as appoggiatura, acciaccatura, trills, and mordents, among others. The ornament percussionists use in snare drumming is most similar to the acciaccatura, also called a grace note. It's the grace note with the line that intersects the stem and the flag, and usually it's played quickly right before the main note. Keep in mind that ornaments can be played in a variety of ways, depending on the style of the music. The best thing to do is to study and understand the style you are playing. Ask questions from experts. Watch and listen to performers that know the style. Read informative method books and play in as many different situations as possible. Let's discuss some specifics about drumming ornaments. In drumming, we have special names for each ornament. I will focus on 3: flams, drags, and 4-stroke ruffs. There are 3 things to keep in mind when you are practicing these ornaments. Number 1, again, the main rhythm or note is always the most important part. Time and rhythm are paramount. Number 2, ornaments are usually phrased to the main note. The grace note starts softer than the main note, then slightly crescendo to that main note. Number 3, ornaments are not necessarily a technical or chops issue. Generally, they are a coordination issue. You may be wondering what I mean about ornaments being a coordination issue and not a technical issue. Let's use alternating flams as an example. In this first exercise, I have written the flams as rhythms at a very slow tempo. The louder note is the main note. The softer note is the grace note. I will gradually bring the grace note closer to the main note through a progressive rhythmic pattern. This way, our brains can really understand the coordination between the hands and the movements involved in this process. Keep the tempo steady. I recommend starting at quarter note equals 60. Notice that when one hand is going up, the other hand is on its way down. They work together in a coordinated manner. The downstroke and the upstroke work simultaneously. Stay relaxed. Your speed will increase as you become more comfortable. You can do the same thing with anything that has a flam. When you're ready, you can play exercise C3 slowly. and with the rhythmic grace notes. Gradually bring this exercise to a usable tempo. Drags are similar, except they involve two grace notes. It is important to understand that you must articulate the two grace notes by playing a slight crescendo and then lifting right into the main note, so they are clearly heard when they are performed. Remember, drags are two grace notes played into one main note, only two grace notes. The exercise for drags uses the same concept as the exercise for flams. Again, you will notice that when one hand is going up, the other hand is going down. Stay relaxed and keep this flow. It will help you gain speed as you become more comfortable with the coordination of these strokes. Remember to practice these very softly as well. Drags are sometimes played with alternating sticking. Practice alternating drags followed by a triplet rhythm. It's a great workout for the hands and a wonderful musical option for this rudiment. The four-stroke ruff can be challenging. It requires playing three grace notes into one main note. The sticking for this ornament can vary depending on the context, dynamic, and style. The general approach for developing this rudiment is similar to the drag and the flam. Like the drag, we have multiple grace notes, so we must slightly crescendo the three grace notes into the main note. This will provide much greater clarity. There is an alternative sticking I use quite a bit. Right-handed players perform it right, left, right, and left-handed performers usually play it left, right, left. This is also called a four-stroke roll. This sticking works particularly well in very soft musical passages. Ornaments are an important part of music making. They can add a lot of character and style to a phrase. While they are not as important as the time and rhythm, it is important to play them clearly and at the service of the main note. The exercises I demonstrated are extremely useful. If you practice them a few minutes per day, you will quickly feel at ease with ornaments, and your playing will improve greatly. Your time and rhythm will have a better flow, and you will have more freedom to focus on expression. Here are some suggested exercises. Try to create your own exercises as well to meet your own practice needs. I hope you found this episode useful. Please join me for the next episode in the Percussion Lounge.